Hey guys, welcome back to the CNSL Season 7. We're in the round of 8, match number 2, and we're going to be going into game number 2 here between DewalT and Yoon. Yoon winning an absolutely crazy game number 1 against DewalT, but I do have to say Yoon had a pretty big advantage early on, and still DewalT pushed that game over 30 minutes. If you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. But we're going to be going into map 2 here. I think DewalT definitely has a decent shot. So let's do it. Let's get into game number 2 on Neo Dark Origin. In the top left, our Zerg player, Yoon. And in the bottom right, our Protoss player, DewalT. All right. So yeah, DewalT fought really well considering how far behind he was. It definitely did not feel like a good position for DewalT after he lost 4 or 5 probes early on, and he lost his first Corsair and couldn't attack, and then he found an attack and had map control and stuff, and Yoon had to use a lot of tools to beat him. Now that's not to say that I don't want to say DewalT made it close, because I don't think it was. Maybe it was close at one moment for a moment, but then Yoon really took control of the game with the islands, right? But I think DewalT's playing well, right? Something went wrong that game, and he's going to have to do a bit better here, sure. But we're on Neo Dark Origin, and you can't play like Yoon just played, right? When you get ahead, you can't just be like, well, I have 7 bases, and no one can beat Zerg when Zerg has 7 bases. Yes, we all know that. No one beats Zerg in that situation. But, let's say he gets, even if he gets a little bit ahead of DewalT, if DewalT fights back to a reasonable position, that might look like 3 base versus 5 base or 4 base versus 5 base, that type of thing, and it probably won't get much worse than that. So, yeah, I'm liking the map for this one, and I do like Neo Dark Origin overall for Protoss for Zerg. I don't think it's a bad map at all. Not that it's I wouldn't call it a great map for Protoss in this matchup, but it's definitely playable. And in fact, it's crazy. As you play, commentate, watch, think about these maps more and more, the balance can change in your mind some, for instance, one thing I'd like to mention is this map, when it came out, 100% convinced, Protoss just slaughters Terran here. And it does. It is a Protoss favored map for sure. But I've very much softened my stance on it, where it's okay, well, many 2-player maps, the early game is wretched. But it actually, if you get into a macro game, it actually becomes a really interesting battle between the two, where I don't think that was the case when it first came out, and I feel like it's kind of been explored a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. It changes over time. It's kind of funny like that, right? Look at Fighting Spirit. That's the greatest example. Fighting Spirit was a great map for a long time and became... Actually, a better example would be Destination. That was considered the best map in the world at one point. It was considered balanced in all the matchups. Now it's considered literally unwinnable for Terran. I'm not joking. This isn't, some angry Terran player saying this. It's considered literally unwinnable. You can't win games on it against either race. So yeah, things definitely change over time, and I feel like it has changed a little bit for this map. Anyways, enough talk of that. DewalT is very carefully blocking the front since all these lings were sent down. Yoon sees that. He's not going to bother to attack unless the probes move. Probe running around right now from DewalT. Still keeping that alive. Very, very important. Wants to see if a layer is going to start. There's that 100 gas. He's going to be poking in one more time. Yeah, he sees. Okay, so when you see the layer, I think you breathe a sigh of relief. It's not going to be like a 3-hatch Hydra, or almost certainly is not. Maybe someone crazy like Shine would cancel this out and go for it. Or maybe, make its Hydros then at the natural and block with the lings when you come down the ramp, that type of thing, right? There are mind games. You can do builds that are, bad. Are super unoptimized because, at higher levels, it's well, this can't possibly be that because it would be so bad here. You'd be way behind where you could be. Yeah, sometimes that's something that can win. This probe just not wanting to die. I think it's going to go soon. Oh, wow, he really missed that. There was actually a very good flank there if he moved to the north. I think he would have killed the probe immediately. But he actually just kind of like, it seems like he let the Ling tracking go for itself. It was just, I'm sure he was looking at something else. Stargate on the way. Overlord sees all this. Citadel pretty quick. No +1 as of yet. Zealots are trying to pressure a little bit. You can see one Zealot already up here. Very good location overall. You know, walks back into a deeper tunnel. Or a little reposition to get 2 Lings attacking instead of 1. If you let units naturally flow in versus micro them in, sometimes they'll get stuck at 1 instead of 2. For what's attacking the Zealot in there. So anyways, a couple kills here for this Zealot as it runs up. Sees that Spire. And, well, that Zealot's not going to last any longer. Down it goes. Okay. So, you know, I think that the blocking of those Zealots was well done from Yoon. Like, it felt like he did a good job there and didn't take too much damage. You know, he had to make a lot of Lings and everything, but it seems like he did a good job. Second gas on the way for Yoon. Is Yoon going to go mutas? It looks like it right now. It definitely looks like it. +1 attack on the way here for the Corsairs. Templar Archives very quickly, and notice the second gateway, right? The reason behind having 2 gates at your natural is so that you can make 2 High Templars and join them into an Archon quickly. If you have a gate here and then you start making your gates up here like normal, and your opponent goes mutas, you can't get those 2 to meet up sometimes because of the mutalisks being around your base. Here, an emergency Archon is very, very easy to get out. Let's see what the Corsairs are up to. Only 1 Overlord kill. Some Scourge are on the way, so you're going to have to be careful about that. Hydralisk Den being made. You know, the Spire's done. We don't see that +1 flyer carapace yet. Oh. Okay, so you might remember from the previous game where I'm like, ooh, I think that right now he can tell it's muta because there's no Hydralisk Den and there's no Evolution Chamber. When the Corsair flew over, he made sure there was a Hydralisk Den, then he canceled it. So he's actually going into a little bit of like a muta all-in. A DT comes up into this third base. Oh my god. Oh my god. Every drone. 8 drones. Huge advantage. Huge advantage for DewalT here. DT not even going to stick around. Okay. This looks so good. He sees the mutas, right? He's got a cannon. He's going to make an Archon. See? The emergency Archon. He's actually bringing both DTs home. Is he going to get a Dark Archon here? I don't think so. I don't think he needs it. Like, Dark Archons are very good against mutas, but you don't want to, like, counter muta with every single thing you're doing, right? He's already got an Archon. He's already got good cannons. He's already got a bunch of Corsairs. Like, I think he's good. Look, another cannon as well. That's very good to see. Traps this probe. All right, here we go. Dives in, but that cannon is ready. Archon coming up to help. Scourge here. Gonna fly over. Try to hit. He's gonna try to draw them over the Archon. Okay, he actually does lose several of the Corsairs. And continuing to produce, and look, he's even got another one queued up. So, like, he's really still ready for a Mutalisk attack, but that's not happening. This is going to be a big switch coming up. Yoon right now is re-droning, and he's going to pretend he's still using mutas, but he's really not. Well, he makes one more muta. That might even be very calculated as well, that he wants him to see a muta rallying in. But, like, it's pretty clear to me that he's not going to stay on mutas. Like, I'm 99% sure here that Yoon is going to switch into a big Hydra all-in and try to hit before Storm. I think that's his best chance here. Right? Your opponent has given a lot of money into trying to counter those mutas. So let's see how that goes. All right, here comes this attack. Now, there's only one Archon. So, like, here, mutas actually still definitely can be useful if you can get rid of that Archon. Notice he is targeting it, and the Archon gets pulled back to target the mutas specifically. Really good moves here from DewalT. Dude, Yoon is in so much trouble. This might be a quick one. Look at this. The third base being completely massacred here. All right, the 6 mutas coming for a counterattack. Not a lot of anti-air here. So he will take out the cannon. Okay, gonna go after some of the probes now. Another Archon is being made, as you can see here. His third base is gone, so Yoon has to get a lot of damage. And, well, he is kind of getting a lot of damage. Like, he's stopped mining here. I don't think he can do it permanently. Gets another couple probes there. 4 cannons in the main. That looks really, really good. Gonna start another one here at that natural. More mutas flying in. Lurker upgrade. By the way, everything I said before about the bust timing from the Hydras, obviously all that's gone because of what happened, like, damage-wise. I think that was his plan, though. Now here, ooh, very good micro hitting that Archon. Don't forget, mutas can just barely do that to an Archon. Archon range is pretty bad, so is Mutalisk range, so you have to be, like, really on top of your micro. I remember seeing this back in the Kespa days and being like, that is unbelievable, but the top Zergs would go for it. And if you get hit by the Archons, I mean, you lose the mutas really quick, but when you micro this well, holy crap. Oh! But as soon as the Archon gets a hit, it's like, oh, here's 200 damage. Lots of damage being dealt. Now, a counterattack from DewalT. It's going to go after this Hydralisk Den? No, he has to turn around. 4 Sunkens. Dude, what is going on here? The ultimate defense plus amazing micro? Okay, he's actually going to kill the Corsairs as well. Scourge get 1, and he goes after... Oh my god, I can't believe it lived. Excuse me. Oh, but he's actually getting Archon hits. You can see that just killed like 4 mutas in one shot. So that's what happens. If your micro is completely perfect, you can just kill it. Like, I want to know some other situations in games like this where, like, you can choose to do this thing that's so unbelievably hard to control, and if you do it perfect, it's amazing, and if you fuck up at all, it's terrible. Like, if he kills that Archon, he's still in control down here. Instead, he lost 4 mutas to the last shot. And now these, what do these do? They just fly around and sightsee. I don't know. If you guys can think of something like that in another esport, let me know about it. But, or even a sport. Like, I don't know. I think that's like, that type of thing is beautiful because it's like a hard decision to make. It's hard to execute. You know, you're really putting your fate into your own hands there. A lot of pressure there. And you got to have the skill to back it up. Okay, so Lurkers come out to defend the third base being taken once again. Is he going to be able to hold it this time? That's a lot of Corsairs. Oh, he flies over. Oh, my God. The Archon just wrecks. Flies over that Archon, loses some more. This Archon is just a muta kill. It's killed 6 mutas so far. Well, it was probably that one. This one has 4 kills, too. Maybe it's this one. Between them, they have 6 muta kills. Another hatchery going up. Yoon actually with a pretty heavy mineral bank. Really going heavy onto the Lurkers as well. I think that's probably the right play. You got to play a weird game here. Ling's coming in, trying to cancel out some cannons. But yeah, this, I think, is sometimes you get into these weird positions where it's like, yeah, this, like, he doesn't really have much money, right? So he can't really go mass Hydra. Instead, he's like, okay, we have these Lurkers in here. You don't really have detection, right? The robotics just finished. The observatory's on the way. Maybe he gets a decent position. Oh, my God. Storm's unreal. And, like, he's trying to dodge some of these storms. Look at that. And using a beautiful trick there. You stand the Zealot exactly on top of the Lurker and then attack with the Archon, and it gets killed. Oops. He mismicroed this. He needs to put this on top of where the Lurker is. There he goes. Beautiful. Definitely one way that you can deal some damage without using Psy Storms. Saving that Psy Storm. He did have another one, but wants to save it. I think it's a smart play. His Zealot count doesn't matter much right now. DewalT is like super far ahead. He just needs to make sure basically he doesn't die. Dragoon range coming up. Adding some more gates. Finally getting up to those 8 gateways. So there's 3 Corsairs sitting around as well. I tell you what. Okay, if Yoon battles back from this position, look, 50% more supply for DewalT. Okay, I think that's the easiest way to put this. That's brutal. If Yoon can battle back from this position, that is truly something impressive. I don't think it's possible. Again, I like the way he's trying to do it. He's saying, screw the Hydras. It's going to be like Lurkerling based. And I think you have to. You have to get like some battles that go overwhelmingly in your way, and Hydras aren't going to do that here. They don't really have potential. This is a sick setup. This is a great setup here. See, we're getting decent volleys here from the lurkers. Good storm goes down. Ling's trying to block and deal some damage. Lots of Sunkens in here. It just doesn't seem like he's going to have enough. So the Protoss unit's so tanky here. Just kind of walk through everything. Oh, that storm. Unbelievable set of storms right there. Clears just about everything. Honestly, he killed a lot more of DewalT's army than I thought he was going to. Might even want to make an Archon here. I feel like one Archon would be a really good play. Yeah, there he goes. Some more Lurkerling coming back, trying to hold. He has to hold this base or the game ends. There's no losing this base and going forward when DewalT has 3 bases right now. All right, well, comes up, flanks with a Storm and another Archon, and it looks like DewalT just has enough to break through absolutely everything. He's twice the supply right now of Yoon. So I think it is going to be just a matter of moments here before GG. Yoon rallies down a few more units, really desperately trying to hold on, but the units that DewalT's sending up doing a great job here as well. 1-1 upgrades against 0-0. What are you going to do? Only Dragoons left, so, you know, as the Lings come down, maybe you have to micro away. If they get around you, you're actually going to lose your Goons, even with those upgrades. Goons are not good against Lings. Yeah, he's kind of starting to surround them a little bit. DT comes up. Might ruin the fun for these Lings a bit. And I tell you what, he kills the Goons, but here comes the reinforcement of Zealots. He still has the Observers here, so the Lurker's not going to be helpful enough. Not in a big enough number, at least. The 3 Corsairs adding the battle as well. And GG is called, and that means we're tied up 1-1.